What's good, Wizards fans? The Washington Wizards get a dub after the 10-game losing streak. They beat the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix. Let's get to it. They get the dub.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Wizards podcast. I just want to thank you guys for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get podcasts. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists. Available 100% online. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/LockedOnNBA. So it feels weird. The Wizards get a win, man. They get off the 10-game skid. It's about time in Phoenix. No Porzingis tonight with the non-COVID illness. The Suns didn't have Devin Booker either. I'm not going to take away from the Wizards win, but this was a big win for the Wizards to get back on track. What was your biggest reason for the win tonight? Was it Taj Gibson with his scrappiness? Was it Bradley Beal in the clutch, Kuz in the clutch? The Wizards playing better defense in the first half. What was your main reason for the Washington Wizards getting the win tonight?
No Porzingis, no problems tonight, homie. I'm just trying to tell you, man, it's a good dub. The biggest reasons for the win, I think it's collective. Kuz and Bill were clutch. They really stepped up tonight. They really stepped up in the absence of KP being out. 29 points, 6 boards, 6 assists from Kuz, so he showed out. 27 points from Bradley Beal. So Bradley Beal has really responded coming back from injury. Second really good game. This is a big win for us. Several factors I think that led to the dub. Now, one thing I want to point out, we did have a 17-point lead that we gave up, but that fourth quarter, we really fought. We fought hard. Overall, driving the lane. We were driving the lane, which led to open shooters. We did a great job attacking the paint. Forcing turnovers. We got 9 steals. We got 25 points off of turnovers. So, the defense played well tonight. Defensively, we looked great tonight. I mean, it was a good team effort on defense. Pushing the pace. There was a couple times where Bradley Beal and Denny brought the ball up and they were like rising coast to coast, man. They look good. So that would be my factors. This was a good team win, but Kuzma and Bill really stepped up in KP's absence. And another person I'm going to shout out is Daniel Gafford. A great game. 12 points, 9 boards, and he's been very efficient in the paint. 5 for 6 on the floor. So this was a great team win. Much needed win for us. So I'm definitely impressed tonight.
Definitely. They made it a lot harder or a lot tougher than what it should have been. Bradley Beal got the ball on the fast break. He missed a layup, then missed 2 free throws. Then he got to the line again and missed free throws. Kuzma missed 2 free throws down the stretch. Denny fouled Chris Paul on a 3-point attempt, and Chris Paul missed a free throw, thank goodness. Of course, they're up by 17, and the next thing you know, they're down by 8. But Bradley Beal, he had some clutch moments. He had some clutch mid-range shots back to back to back. Taj Gibson took a charge and had a huge block on Torrey Craig as well. Kyle Kuzma hit a clutch 3 in the corner. Denny had a nice pump fake and got fouled. Went to the line, made both free throws. He made a 3 down the stretch too. So the Wizards made some winning plays, but they definitely made some frustrating plays to lose that 17-point lead. They let Landry Shamet get open for threes. Looked like they were playing zone defense. They couldn't guard the pick and roll with Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton. So it was definitely a roller coaster ride, but the Wizards, they made enough clutch plays towards the end of the game. I was impressed with Brad, how he showed up in the clutch, and he made some big time passes to Kuz for clutch baskets, 6 assists. He limited his turnovers tonight with only 2. Denny rebounding the ball was huge, 10 boards, 16 points, double-double tonight. Thought he played well, 4 assists, jack of all trades, contributed on the defensive end as well. The defense was better in the first half. They had some deflections. Monte Morris was a part of that, just being scrappy. 25 points off turnovers, getting fast breaks. Corey Kispert on some fast breaks. Denny had a dunk in the beginning. It was a beautiful pass from Bradley Beal. So definitely just a better effort tonight, a better collective effort. Guys playing together and stepping up with Porzingis being out. So I was happy with the effort and the performance tonight, and it finally resulted in a win. Like I said, not going to take away from the guys. Like I said, Devin Booker was out, but like I said, Porzingis was out too. So I'm not going to take away from the Wizards at all. This is a good win against a legitimate playoff team. So I'm intrigued to see more what this team can do. The solid 2 out of 3 play really well. Like you said, Gafford stepped up tonight too, 12 points and 9 boards with a start. But yeah, Taj Gibson, man, he just made some huge plays down the stretch. He did a lot of stuff that doesn't really show up on the stat sheet, and he was a huge key to victory tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Denny, man, the Swiss Army knife, man. I mean,
Yep.
jack of all trades, like you said, man. I'm very impressed with him. 16 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. He had nice dishes, man. I mean, it was just an incredible game from him. Now, this was a much needed win, but there are negatives with the positives. So, finishing games, a little closer than it should have been. That 17-point lead, and somebody mentioned the rotations. I think with West taking out the scores, that took a hit. They came back in the third, but free throws, man, free throws. We got to hit those free throws, man, especially in the fourth quarter. We are terrible at free throws. Scouting, man. Did anybody read a scouting report on Landry Shamet? I mean, dude was lighting it up. I mean, he was lighting it up. But again, I don't want to take away from it. This was a good team win. This is a much needed win. I was very impressed. I mean, looking at the bench, nobody scored more than 6 points, but the effort was there. The bench, the effort was there. You're not going to light up with the scoreboard every game, but the effort, the defensive effort. This is a totally different team. They came out, they had energy tonight. They fought hard. They really did. They wanted this win. So I feel a lot better going into Utah and against Sacramento because, look, I think that with them driving the lane, pushing the pace, playing team basketball, playing team defense, those are winnable games. And this is just it's weird because you're coming off a 10-game losing streak. We were just, we were getting ready for the draft. It was a totally different team tonight. They came out with energy. I mean, Bradley Beal showed why he's considered the franchise guy here. Now, I know that's up for debate. It's another topic for another time, but hey, you can't knock the hustle tonight. Now, efficiency, I think the only negative I take away from Brad, I believe it was 8 from 20 from the field. So, it took a lot of shots to get up there. But again, he was driving the lane. He was aggressive, a little too aggressive, man. There was a few times where he hit the floor. I was like, oh, man. Especially when I think in the fourth quarter when he landed on his wrist. I was like, oh, man, because he's slow getting up. But he fought hard. He played like a leader tonight. Kuz is trying to get that bag. So, look, man, overall, I'm very impressed with this win. This was a good team win, and we needed it, man. We really needed it. So let's try to get a winning streak going.
Definitely, yeah. Brad, he struggled in the first half, and other guys stepped up, and then he was able to take over in that fourth quarter. But we're going to get to more of the game, and then I guess we'll do a defensive belt, and then get into the comments real quick. We know it's late, playing on the West Coast, so it's only 8:00 over there, but it's midnight over here. It's 9:00 over there, but it's midnight over here. So, but before we do get to that, this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is very helpful. Online therapy. Watching the Wizards and this after the Commanders game where they got, the refs definitely stole the game from them, where Curtis Samuel got bear hugged and, Terry McLaurin lined up and the ref threw a flag. I definitely needed some help after that, some mental therapy after that, after a tough loss and this 10-game losing streak finally coming to an end. BetterHelp is super, super helpful. And it was a tough time for me watching our teams lose games like that. So unfortunately, life doesn't come with a user manual. So when it's not working for you, it's normal to feel stuck. Navigating any of life's challenges can make you feel unsure, whether it's a career change, a new relationship, or becoming a parent. Therapists are trained to help you figure out the cause of challenging emotions and learn productive coping skills, which makes therapy the closest thing to a guided tour of the complex engine called you. BetterHelp has connected over 3 million people with licensed therapists. It's convenient and accessible anywhere, 100% online. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists, available 100% online. Plus, it's affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It couldn't be simpler. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/lockedonnba. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedonnba. Thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. Make sure to check out Locked On Sports Today, the biggest stories around the sports world in 20 minutes or less, plus instant reactions, game recaps, and Locked On's Take of the Day, Locked On Sports Today, available on YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. All right, Brandon, was there anything else that stood out to you in the game tonight? And if you did have to do a defensive belt, which the Wizards haven't done in a long time, who would you give the defensive belt to?
Nah, I'm good, brother. I mean, this is a good team win, man. I mean, we hit the main areas. I mean, defense. I mean, every area that we've had an issue with this team, they showed it up. I mean, defense, very impressed. I mean, pushing the pace, driving the lane, a totally different team. So, the player of the game, man, this is a good one. I'm going to roll with Bradley Beal, the real deal Bill. You know, he was clutch. You know, he showed leadership. He showed heart, driving the lane. You know, he definitely is the player of the game for me. Defensive belt. Everybody's getting in tonight. I think it was a good team. It was a good team defensive showing. You know, the whole team came together. Communication was great. The rotations were great. I mean, the whole team gets it.
Yeah, player of the game is I would go Brad down the stretch. You could go with Kuz too, hitting that clutch 3, 5 for 10 from the 3-point line, 6 boards, 6 assists. Hit some big shots, was getting downhill. You know, had a couple of nice passes to Gafford for some finishes around the rim or above the rim for Gaff. And then for player, like I said, player of the game is Brad, and then the defensive belt. I wouldn't go with the whole team, but I think you could go co-defensive belt if you had to. Taj Gibson just had that charge he took and the block that he had in Torrey Craig was huge down the stretch, and just battling for the loose basketball. That was huge on his part. And then Denny just defensively, you know, just being his versatility, being a Swiss Army knife, just switching on guys and picking up the tough matchups on the Suns as well. So, but I think Taj Gibson, I think he got it tonight. He deserves it. I think he will get it for sure. So, but we're going to get a quick word from Brandon, then we're going to get into comments and we're going to wrap it up.
Yes, sir. Tonight's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline.net is your #1 source for sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. Get the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there. From pro football to college bowl season to basketball and the World Cup, we got it all at BetOnline.net. If you love sports podcasts such as this one, you can find those at BetOnline as well. We're always the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. So, getting into some comments. Let's see. All right. Perfect findings. Now we are winning when KP is out. You know, I mean, it's a good win with KP being out, but, you know, this is a good team win. And yeah, you know, you really saw Kuz and Bill really take charge tonight with him being out. Now, I was a little scared, to be honest with you, with Aiden. I didn't, you know, I know it was 50-50 whether Aiden was going to win play tonight, but hey, look, Aiden was eating tonight. You know, he was definitely getting his money's worth in the paint. But, you know, with him being a stronger big, would KP have made big difference? That's a question. Because I mean, KP is solid in the paint, but when he goes against these bigger bigs, you know, he tends to struggle. And Aiden's a strong cat. So, you know, but again, good overall victory, man.
Yeah, I mean, KP, you know, he's been very instrumental in the wins that we have gotten. And it's only one game. I know we went through this when Bradley Beal was out. We went 4-1. Everybody was getting excited, and we just found out that we were losing with and without Bradley Beal. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see KP when he comes back. Like I said, with Ayton, KP, yes, he does struggle with, you know, bigger, stronger bigs at times for sure. But we definitely could use Porzingis in his scoring and get the solid 3 back healthy out there for sure. So, but yeah, other guys were able to step up. I think they opened up room for Denny to rebound the ball more and get the ball and push. It opened up for Kuz to get more boards. Gibson got more playing time. I thought he definitely took advantage of that playing time. Gafford got to start with KP out. I thought he took advantage of that, 12 points, 9 boards. So other guys were just able to step up. And other guys got more playing time. They got more opportunities. And I thought they took it and ran with it. Denny got a double-double. That's probably because, you know, Porzingis wasn't there getting most of the boards. So kudos to those guys for stepping up with Porzingis being out.
Absolutely. Denny was the man tonight. Next comment, Gilad Zelzer. What's going on, man? How you doing? Great game by many players. Love seeing Denny getting the ball more on offense. Like I said, he was a Swiss Army knife. I mean, he did it all. You know, he showed some vision. He had a lot of nice passes tonight. He did a great job distributing, but his rebounds, him driving the lane. He has some attitude tonight, man. Look, when Denny has attitude, when Denny is motivated, that's a totally different player. And that's the player that you see why they took a chance on him, drafting him in the position they did in the draft. Because man, when he's motivated, he's a good player. He got a high motor. It's just, but Denny's always a motivation factor. But when he's motivated, Denny is a high motor guy. So I definitely agree on that.
Yeah, he had a really nice pass to Taj Gibson. I was impressed with the three that he hit. I know he's been struggling from the 3-point line all year. He hit a big three in the fourth quarter, and he went up strong, went to the basket, did a pump fake, and got fouled. I've talked about him finishing around the rim, and he did that tonight. He just went up and dunked in the first half too. He's starting to dunk the ball. He started to finish. He's starting to take his time around the basket, and I love that for him. And I think, like I said before, with KP being out, he got more rebounds, and when he gets the rebound, he's able to push the ball. He's able to push the pace himself, and I think that's when he's at his best. We watched with Eurobasket over the summertime. He was the guy in Israel. He was the guy getting the rebounds. He was the guy pushing the pace. He was the guy running the offense. He's not going to do that a lot here with the Wizards. We would like to see him get more chances and opportunities to do that, but he took advantage of the opportunity tonight. He was really distributing, and he was being aggressive. Like you said, Brandon, when he's aggressive, when he's confident, that's when he's at his best.
Absolutely. I love what I saw from Denny. Next comment from Quentin Adams. What's going on, man? How you doing? Did they even practice free throws? That would be one of the few negatives tonight. Free throws, and they're really negative for the season because they struggle on free throws. And I can't stress enough, man, free throws are vital when these close games. This is a very close game. And it's a very – I know they didn't have Devin Booker. And really, Landry Shamet, man, he really filled the void for Devin Booker. So, but this is a legit playoff team. So this is a good win. This really gives me optimism going against Utah because, yeah, Utah has been playing well, but they're still a young team with a lot of spare parts. No disrespect to anybody on their team because I like a lot of guys on their team. I'm a big fan of Larry Markkinen and Colin Sexton, and same thing with Sacramento. Sacramento's played kind of, nobody really expected them to play this well. So I think these are two very winnable games, but free throws they got to get better because, fourth quarter. Free throws are the defining factor in many games, whether you win or lose a game. So I definitely agree with that.
110%. Kuz missing those free throws down the stretch, missed two. They gave them a chance because I was concerned when Chris Paul went to the line for 3 free throws. I was like, oh, here we go again with the collapse, letting teams get another chance to come back. And Brad was missing, uncharacteristically missing free throws down the stretch in the clutch. And missing a layup. That was definitely disappointing there. 26 for 37 from the free throw line, 70% from the line. Now they shot a lot better from the 3-point line, 40%. That's something that we don't see from the Wizards a lot, shooting 40% from the 3.
Yeah, that surprised me, man. I mean, he shot very well from 3-point. Corey Lott said they have to stay consistent. Absolutely. I think if we really want to have success this season, the consistency is the key. We are a very inconsistent team. Tonight we were able to hit most areas. We checked most boxes tonight. 3-point percentage was up, like you said. Team basketball, team movement, team defense. But the key to this team, if they, indeed they're serious about making a push for playing or trying to get into one of those 6 to 8 spots in the playoffs, they have to stay consistent. They have to stay consistent, and that includes free throws. We have to get better at free throws and be consistent with it. So, yeah, I mean. Great team win, but consistency is a key to keep this thing going. So,
definitely. Yeah, we got some of the Denny supporters are in here. Jalad Zelzer says the defense was great from all in team basketball. No much ISO. It looks much better. Also, by the way, Denny was 6 for 6 from the free throw line. Yeah, he was one of the few guys on the team to make their free throws, and we need more of that. So good on him for making his free throws. There's another comment for Denny as well. He says, it's Yov Barzilay Dabash. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name or mispronouncing it. He says, I wonder why Weston Jr. forgot to bench Denny like he does regularly.
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
He had no choice. KP out, no Rui, no DeLon. I mean, you just gotta roll with the hot hand. And Denny earned his minutes tonight. He played with confidence. 2 for 5 from the 3-point line. He took the shots that were open. He finished well around the rim. So there was really no reason. Denny didn't give Wes a reason to take him out. There's some times where there's not really much of a reason why Denny doesn't get playing time, where I'm scratching my head and I'm questioning the rotations too with Wes as well. But Denny did enough tonight where he there was no reason for West to even take him out of the game. So I thought this was definitely one of his better games for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think with Denny, the biggest thing is consistency. Also, if he can be consistent with this effort, with this fire that he played with tonight, I'm telling you, if when and I believe his when he develops that shot, man, he can start to become more of a complete package of a player, man. His defense is elite level defense. When he's motivated, when he has that fire, he can drive, he can distribute. He's got vision. It's just, man, he is a consistent jumper away, in my opinion. He's a consistent jumper away, and after that, man, who knows? He might be a long-term option here in DC. So no, I love what I saw from Denny, man. Impressive game.
Yep. The Wizards, they're now 1.5 games out of the play-in. So I know Ted Leonsis is very, very happy about that. The Toronto Raptors are 13-18. The Wizards are 12-20. The Raptors are on a skid as well. Just looking at the standings overall, because somebody in the comments said that they wanted to lose. I'm looking at them. I can't find a comment right now. Oh, it's Michael Wilder. He says Brandon's getting that hype grin going. Any chance we get a bottom 5 pick this year? So I mean, that ties into his question right there, because we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have the 6th worst record in the league. But the thing is, they're not far off from the play-in. Now, if you do make the play-in, you still get your lottery pick. Now, if you make the playoffs, then you're not in the lottery anymore. So yes, there is a chance that they could get a bottom 5 pick. But knowing the Wizards, they'll probably end up with the 10th pick of the draft and the 9th pick of the draft. Once everybody starts getting healthy, the Wizards probably will win enough games just to get in that 9th or 10th pick. So for those people that want to get hyped up for the 5th pick of the draft or the 1st pick of the draft, you gotta pump the brakes on that for right now. You gotta wait and see.
Yeah, I got my grand rolling tonight because I love this team, man. No matter what, I love this team. So so it's good to see them get that win, man. And snap that losing streak. But look, if you look at the draft, man, this is a loaded draft. 1 through 10, there's a lot of talent in this draft. I know that the headliners is Wembanyama and Scooter Henderson, man, but there's a lot of talent in this draft. So, like you said, if even within around the 10 to maybe even 15, if we get on our game scouting wise, there's no reason why we can't find an impactful player from 10 to 15. Because like you said, with our luck, man, we always get to later picks no matter what. So,
right. Yep. Any more comments that stand out to you? We'll probably do 1 or 2 more to wrap it up for tonight.
Yeah, I got one, man. Real quick, Robert Carter, man. This team is frustrating to watch. And I look with you, man, because it was a roller coaster ride. It was a roller coaster ride, man. It's just frustrating, but man, I'm very happy. Big win. Now, if we can keep this thing going, I think really if we hold on to what we had tonight as far as team basketball, that's the key, man. Team basketball. No ISO, no individual. Nobody trying to show out for a trade. Nobody trying to get paid. Really focusing on team basketball. I think that we can really get at least 1-1 in these next few games. I think Sacramento and I think Utah are both winnable games. So, yeah, y'all know me, man. Part of me is like, yeah, let's get ready for the draft. But in the same fashion, man, I love this team, man. I always have. So when I see them win, I can't help but smile, bro. So, I'm definitely happy. So,
yeah. I just think they're looking at their 1.5 out of that playing spot. So I think that's what they're looking at, and their mindset with the front office and this team, they're probably like, okay, we can just get in the play-in. Who knows what can happen? So. Thank you, Corey Lott. He says Ed and Brandon with the fist bump. John Booth said, I wish they lost, to be honest. Yeah, there's just a lot of fans that definitely they want the Wizards to get the better draft position this year. So I know there's a lot of people who are upset with the dub, but I'll take it. It's about time. Watching 10 losses in a row, it's not fun. I get it with draft position, but I'm happy that they did get a win. I think the guys have fought hard. They definitely could have won that Clippers game, the John Wall anniversary game or reunion game, homecoming game. They definitely could have won that game. There's some games that they lost that they were really close, but they just weren't able to pull the win out. So, Brandon, anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, sir. We can go ahead and wrap it up. But before we go, definitely Thursday night at Utah. So definitely watch the game. Try to get a winning streak going. So now, I hope everybody has a good night. Thank you for coming out. Thanks for making Locked On Wizards your first listen today. Now make Locked On Sports Today your second listen. Peter Bukowski brings you the biggest stories from around the sports world in 20 minutes. Get analysis and opinions before anyone else with our local and national experts and insiders. Locked On Sports Today podcast available on YouTube and wherever you get podcasts. So definitely check out me and my dude, the real Ed Oliver, on Twitter and Instagram. YouTube, we are getting closer to 3Gs, man. So definitely like, subscribe, and definitely have a good night. Thank everybody for showing up, and peace with the dub.